everyone, welcome to Let's Celebrate TV Live. I'm your host, Peter Lee. Today with me, as always, over at the Command Center it's Phil Gordimer. He's my husband. He makes it all happen. He's my favorite Valentine.
And good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. From a warm New Jersey for a change. It's almost 55
Yes, it
here,
is.
but it's still a nice day for soup.
Yep. It's very rainy and overcast and blustery, so yeah. But first, let's start with a cocktail because that's what we do here. Today, we're going to be making an old favorite, our espresso martini. Yes, espresso, not espresso, as we've been corrected multiple times. So we're going to make a double version of the recipe that's on the screen. So we're going to start with Mr. Black. I love this. This is a coffee liqueur. Unlike Kahlua, which is made with rum, this is made with vodka. And we need 4 ounces. 60 mils. Sorry. 4 ounces, 120 mils. Right in our little shaker.
And all of the links and recipes to everything we do today is already in the description for this YouTube video, and we'll post them as we go along.
Next up is vodka, but the original recipe calls for regular vodka. Today, I'm using vanilla vodka because we found it just adds a more deeper flavor. It doesn't make it sweet, it just packs more punch. So we need 2 ounces of vodka.
You haven't missed anything, Ben. We just started making the cocktail.
Yep. And then, of course, you can't have an espresso martini without some espresso. So this is 2 ounces. Now, you know what's coming up. It's the shaky shaky. Here we go. That should do. Let's see. Oh, good. Now, normally, I'd pour these into chilled glasses. Oh, Hawthorne strainer, please. I knew there was something I forget. And we would garnish these with chocolate-covered coffee beans. But we couldn't find them yesterday. So we did find some Hershey Kisses. So I'm going to put a Hershey Kiss in each one. Thank you. And we're just going to strain this in. You could double strain to get the extra ice crystals out if you wanted, but that would affect all this lovely foam that you get on top of it. And of course, the more you shake, the foamier it gets. All right, would you like to come get this, dear?
Sure.
All right, cheers to you. And cheers to you. That's quite lovely.
With the chocolate kiss in it.
You can't even taste it yet.
Can I have a bit more vanilla vodka, please? Just a swig.
Okay.
It's thing. It's just the man who grabs.
Well, you can't have anything I can't have. Yeah, this should be a fun live stream. Okay, so do you have any PSAs?
Oh, that's better.
Okay. Do you have any public service announcements?
I do. Hold on, let me get the right buttons here.
Yes.
Hold on, I gotta move things. Give me a second. We've rearranged the computer desk again, so. All right, so yes, we do have a PSA, and it's a really important one. We turned 1,500,000 views earlier this week.
Yay!
And that's nice. So we're growing.
Yeah. Yeah. And when did we hit 1 million? It wasn't that long ago.
Hit 1 million maybe 4 months ago. Mm-hmm. It took us 7 years to get to that point. Yep. So.
Okay. So it's all about soups today. Thank you, Nick. So you can see that I had to break out the twins today. because I have a couple different soups. Thank you, Ben. This also gives away one of our little secrets, and I'm sure a lot of even professional shows do this. Sometimes when we're cooking something that takes a long, long time, I'll have one pre-made. So I have a lot of doubles of things, baking dishes, Dutch ovens, things like that. I love it when we catch watching cooking shows on TV, even on the Food Network, when the host, someone who might live in the middle of the country or somewhere unknown, puts a blue casserole in the oven and says, this will come out in 30 minutes. And they go tick, 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 tick. In 30 minutes, she pulls a yellow casserole out. Like, people are paid to catch stuff like that. So we try to never do that. And, if it means having twice as much cooking stuff, we're okay with that.
Now, wait a minute. Let's be honest here. We have quintuplets.
Some things.
He has 5, 6, and 7 of things. We may have an excessive amount of cast iron.
Well, you keep buying it for me, dear, so. So it's all about soup today.
I agree with this one.
Care Bears, Dutch ovens for life. Yes, yeah,
And it's magic.
Yes, exactly. Through the magic of television. So it's all about soup today. And actually, Ben, someone loves their vodka. We're not that big of vodka drinkers.
We don't. We very rarely use it. We're gin drinkers.
Vodka makes me sleepy. So, if I've had a crazy day and he knows that I'm not going to be able to unwind, he will make me a vodka martini. There have been times when he's locked me out of the house and wouldn't let me in until I drank a vodka martini.
You want to tell that story?
I thought I just did.
Oh, okay.
That was the Reader's Digest condensed version because it's almost already 4 o'clock. So come on, let's get going on our topic. Well, thank you, Janet. I did too. I saw these last Christmas, and as much as I love purple, burgundy is another favorite color of mine. Yes, Ben, exactly. Yes, they are. They absolutely are.
All right, so now that begs the question, when I buy the 51st pot, are we going to be equal?
All right, so it's all about soup today. Soup's on. And why are we doing soup today, dear? Because someone wrote in saying, I just can't make soup. It never turns out the way it should. And I've heard that from a lot of people. And I'm always amazed by that because that was one of the first things I learned to make when I was, however tall. So I don't get it. It's so easy. And, it's this time of year. It's still winter. For most of the country, it's still cold and icky and dreary. And what is more comforting than a nice hot bowl of soup?
Well, and I think some people don't make soup because they sort of think it's like tomato sauce, or we're near South Philadelphia, Sunday gravy, something that has to be cooked and cooked and cooked all day in order to make a soup. And the reality is most soups don't take an hour, if that.
Right. There are soups out there that will benefit from a long simmer. And certainly, if you can make it the day before you're going to serve it, it's going to taste better the next day. However, what Phil said is true. There are a lot of ways to do a quick soup in under 20 minutes. In fact, one of my favorite chefs, the late Michael Chiarello from the Food Network, he used to audition chefs at his restaurants, and he would say, okay, you've got 20 minutes. Whatever's in the pantry, go make me a soup. And if they made a soup he liked, he would usually hire them. So, I'm drinking more than just vodka. Wendy says, I grew up on Campbell's soups. I still prefer it over other brands or homemade. Okay, yeah, and I think probably most of us grew up on Campbell's soups, especially those of us here in South Jersey where the Campbell's factory used to be just up the road in Camden. It was there only, but now it's...
The corporate headquarters is still there.
Yeah. Yep. So, soup. History and fun facts all about soup. I spent this morning going down a rabbit hole, learning all about soups, and I couldn't put it all into paper or we'd be here till probably 1,000,000 today. But soup goes back to the Upper Paleolithic time, which was about 50,000 years ago. And the article I was reading said that scientists are debating still, it's contested how far it goes back, but the evidence they found, two different ways that early people used to make what they believe were soups. What?
Nothing. I'm reading some of the chats. Keep
Okay.
going. I'll
All
bring them
right.
up in a bit.
Every culture in the entire world has soups, has a form of soups. And we're going to start making one today. Like I said, I have the twins here. Does this still have gas? Yes. I'm going to turn this one up. And I'm switching out on my script a little bit. I want to bring this up to the simmer. I've had it on a very low, low simmer.
So tell us in chat, what is
Yes.
your favorite soup? Let's make a list.
Let me bring my ingredients forward. Ta-da!
So we have a question back here. Hold on.
Okay.
Scrolling with multiple screens here. Here you go.
Have you ever heard of pepper pot soup? Yes, and I love it. I've never made it, but I love it. I've had it. Now, Campbell's used to make it, but I've also had it out in restaurants. As I recall, it uses tripe, which is really hard to find. I'm sure I could find it if I really went and looked for it. All right, bring this up to a boil. We're going to start making some chicken soup. Then I've been dealing with cold, so Sherry made a chicken noodle soup earlier last week that I'm still enjoying. That's excellent. We're going to talk about that a little later. I am starting with the chicken noodle soup because I'm putting in some vegetables that I want are going to take a minute or so to cook. Right now I have some chicken stock, some homemade chicken stock that I made, and a lot of chicken in there. There are a few little thyme leaves that didn't get strained out. Oh well. In my bowl, I'm going to add, I have here, where's the camera? Oh, there it is. I have a couple carrots and some celery that I diced up pretty finely. I'm going to put those in. Now the stock already had all these flavors in it and a few more things. So this is just going to reinforce it. An onion. This is half of a very, where are you? There you are. Half of a very large onion. And I've diced them up kind of on the smaller side so they'll hopefully cook a little quicker today. Do you want me to show it over the pot?
Yeah, that would be easier.
Okay. All right. I can do that, mon petit.
Because I'm trying to do that and
all right,
watch.
All right, you watch the thing.
Yeah.
So there we go. Garlic, a couple cloves, maybe 3.
When you get a chance, talk about how you made that broth.
Okay. All right. Sure. So homemade chicken broth. We have a recipe for it. But really, I just took a lot of aromatics. Carrots, onions, celery, garlic, bay leaves, peppercorns, fresh parsley, fresh thyme, and a chicken. And I put them all in a pot with some water and just boiled it. Just let it boil for a couple hours.
Where you can really cheat is open a box
wow,
of
okay,
chicken stock.
I was going to get there. Thank you, dear. I'm going home now. Brought it to a boil, and then I just let it simmer for a while until the chicken was done. I let it cool down, strained it all out, saved the chicken, and I had this beautiful golden stock. All right, so I've got some carrots, onions, and celery in. I'm going to bring this up a little bit more. And then one more. This is zucchini. I happen to have some zucchinis. I found them at the produce market yesterday. They look beautiful. And that's what I love about soups, especially chicken soup. You can take it in any direction. It's a blank canvas. You can add whatever you want to it. So I have zucchini today. We'll pop this in too. This is cut a little larger because it's more delicate than the others. And it'll cook probably in the same amount of time, hopefully. So we're just going to let this go, and then we'll taste it for seasoning. Or my, thank you, Care Bears, my little victim over there, my guinea pig, will taste it. All right, this is for the other soup.
Okay,
I'll just put
really?
this aside.
I'm a guinea pig now?
Yes, dear. As are all the people that come and do recipe tasting for me. All right, so that's chicken soup. That's underway. So back to my notes.
So I'm compiling a list here. So go ahead and keep putting your favorite soups in chat. I'm
Okay.
compiling a giant list, and later on we'll bring them all back and see what everyone says. Because you might change your mind after you see some of these.
Well, that's true. That's true. So, yeah, what Phil was saying earlier, soups, it's a blank canvas, as I just said. And then what Phil alluded to earlier, some of them can be made long, slow simmer to really get maximum flavor. Some of them can be thrown together. You could stop on your way home from work, if you still go into the office, and pick up ingredients and make soup when you get home. You know, you can get a rotisserie chicken, some stock in a box. You know, you can use frozen vegetables if you don't want to cut up fresh, if you're not like me, where I have to do everything the hard way and chop all the fresh vegetables. But no, you can get some frozen vegetables, put it all together, let it simmer maybe 15 minutes, and there you have a nice pot of soup for a quick meal. But, you know, you could also do them in a crock pot. You can do them in an Instapot. Sam asks, is chili a soup or a stew? That's a good question. I consider it a soup. And that's because, you know, there are different types of soup, right? There are brothy soups, creamy soups, chunky soups. I think chili would be a thick and chunky soup. There's hot soups, cold soups, dessert soups even. But I also consider chili a soup because my mother made it soupier than what you would think of as chili, especially if you like Wendy's chili, which is very good. That's very, very thick. Whereas my mother always made it thinner, brothier, because it would last longer for feeding 5 kids.
And I'm a big, thick chili.
Yes, you are.
With beans.
Yes, yes, you are. That's very true. Yes. So, yeah, so brothy soups, I love brothy soups, a lot of them, because they're packed with flavor and usually nutrients, but they're lower on calories and they fill you up.
Really? Maxwell, come
All
on
right.
now.
He's scratching on the couch, our cat. But, you know, creamy soups are always good. Chunky soups, of course.
Okay, someone paid attention from last week.
Where is Val Turtle? Val Turtle's here. Look around. He's here with me. So who can spot him? But all these different soups, one of the weirdest ones you might be, I mentioned a dessert soup. And it is a real thing. I've had them at restaurants, and they're wonderful in the summertime. Usually they're made of berries or peaches or something. And it's a wonderful way to end a meal when it's really hot. Or a cold soup is a nice way to begin a meal. Some of the cold soups that they have cold, like gazpacho is a cold soup. This soup is started. Let's come over here to this soup, the other twin. In my pot here, I want to make sure it's not too high.
It's a reveal.
It's a reveal. I have this glorious tomato soup. It's Be Kind to Vegetarians Day on this side of the room. Not on that side, but on this side. This is a vegetarian roasted tomato and vegetable soup. It's very light. It's very, oops, what's happening here? Let's turn that down. It's very wonderful. It's very packed with flavor. But I'm going to add something to it to beef it up. I'm going to add some little stars. This will take, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 minutes to cook them. So let's put these in. This is about a cup or so. And there's about, I don't know, a couple of quarts of soup here. And this was an easy thing to make because I roasted the vegetables, which were tomatoes, onions, peppers, garlic, and then buzz them up in my food processor.
Hello.
Put it through a sieve to get all the liquid out, and that was the base. And then I just supplemented it with vegetable stock. And the vegetable stock that I used was very tomato forward. So, all right, that's hot. Let me, we'll do this.
Hang on here.
Yes, dear.
I think I might have a problem.
Uh-oh.
I've lost my chat.
Are we still online? Are we still?
We are online.
Okay,
People are watching.
okay. But you can't find them.
I can't see them in my chat windows.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Wow, that took a bit to catch up. All right,
Okay.
so
Phew. Take them off the mixer and make turtle soup. Thank you, Kevin. You're out of the will. But good job for finding him.
I'm not sure about this one. This one scares me.
Tomato soup with cottage cheese. Why not? It would be similar if you did like a tomato soup with ricotta cheese. Cottage cheese is just bigger curds and whey. It's a little different flavor, but... Not the turtle. Yeah, here he is. Back here. Our little friend. And the rest of the menagerie is there too. Okay. So, where was I, dear, now that you've... Okay,
Yeah,
so
that scared me a little. So YouTube must have had a brain fart because
Okay.
like 8 of them came in all at once.
all right, that's all right. As long as we didn't suddenly like drop off air, because
No, we did not.
okay, all right, that's good. So both our soups are going. This will take another 5 minutes, hopefully, and then
Can you
this
s-
should be done soon. Can I what?
Can you spend a second and tell them how you made that tomato-based soup?
I already did because you weren't listening.
That you buzzed up the
I
tomatoes
already
after you...
went through that, dear, and you weren't listening.
Oops.
You were looking at your emergency, and you said keep talking. So I explained what I did. I can do it again if people missed it. So all I did was, secretly, I opened some tomato Campbell's soup. No. You know, like I said, I roasted some plum tomatoes, red peppers, red onions, garlic for 45 minutes till they're nice and soft. Put them in the food processor, whisk them down into a mush, then put that through a strainer, fine mesh strainer. All that liquid that came out was the base, intensified flavor. That went in, and then I supplemented it with a couple quarts of vegetable stock, which happened to be very tomato forward, so it should be pretty good. So now we've added in our pasta. Before I serve these up, I will taste them for salt and pepper because I did, you know, like the vegetables were seasoned, and the vegetable stock had salt in it, so we have to taste it. It's almost that time. Are you about ready for what you want to do?
No,
or
another
should I
minute or
keep-
so.
And keep going?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Actually, I'm not quite sure what this one is.
Okay. Phil, Larry is getting upset from Chatty B. Okay.
This one's interesting because Ben does spend a lot of time at Disneyland.
Oh, Disneyland has a surprisingly good tomato soup. Oh, okay. Tomato soup is like the penultimate classic soup that everyone loves. I think when I was doing my research today, that was one of the first soup that Campbell's produced in the 1800s, like late 1870s.
Well, if you remember, we did a whole special on why Jersey tomatoes are so good.
Yes.
And Campbell's Soup worked with Rutgers University to come up with the hybrid that is
Right.
used, that Jersey tomatoes are famous for,
Yep.
and what was used in, and still today, in tomato soup from Campbell's.
So what are some of the favorite soups out there? Has anyone commented?
I do, I'm saving them up because they're still going.
Okay. All right.
All right, I'm just about ready here. Let me get one more thing.
Good. Okay. All right. I'll have a sip of cocktail. And then I need to step off camera for a moment. while
Okay,
you,
so-
do you?
All right, so with our change to doing live streams every single week instead of every other week, which will A, help us grow the channel, and B, let us be a little bit more flexible for weeks when we have to skip, because with every other week, if we skip, it kind of really throws a monkey wrench in the schedule. That being said, small channel support is still very, very important to us, but to do it every single week can be slightly challenging. Once I identify a channel, I have to contact them and get their permission to post them. So what we'll be doing is we'll be featuring new channels every other week and new live streams that I think people should be watching. So we're going to start out today with our friends over at PTV Live.
Pepper Tree Villa.
Pepper Tree Villa, and I'm going to post this. They have a live stream coming up tomorrow which is a taste of Jell-O. It's 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And their live streams are a lot of fun. Joe Brennan, if you're watching, they do a segment where they review a Hallmark movie every week. And most of the time, they're very, very brutal. So check out Taste of Jell-O at Pepper Tree Villa. The link is in chat and it's in the video. And I'm going to leave a link to their channel where you can also see Ben's videos on Life with Ben. Okay, back to you.
All right, so let's talk about some commercial products, which I wasn't paying attention and just looked down at my notes and went, oh, that's next. Silly bear that I am. So we know, Campbell's.
All right, let me just paste that one
Okay.
for those that are going for the live stream.
Okay.
And then this one for the channel. So besides the live streams, they can see Life with Ben.
Very good. Life with Ben is fun.
Oh, there we go. Guys are in.
Of course. Oh, hey guys. So, let's talk commercial products. We all know canned soup, Progresso, Campbell's. The store was crazy yesterday because there were some snow flurries and people were completely panicked. We got there about 9:30 in the morning.
They had to get their stuff for French toast.
Yeah. So, like, I went to go down the soup aisle, and I'm reaching around people just to get a couple cans of Espresso. Forget even trying to get the Campbell's. Yeah. But anyway, we all know about canned soups, and I always keep them around, even though I usually have soup in my freezer. Sometimes during my work day, it's just easier to run downstairs to the kitchen and grab a can of soup. Here's a rich and hearty and thick one, and then there's more of a brothier one. These are great. I usually buy lower sodium ones, but, once in a while. Thank you, Rebecca. We lift each other up. We've built a whole sub-community, haven't we, dear?
Yep.
And we all promo each other and lift each other up, and it's great. So
And even in the best days, people kind of still believe that you make a YouTube channel, you get 1 million views, and you make a lot of money, and it doesn't work that way. Look, YouTube is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Right.
We've been at it for
This is going on 7 years.
Now, we only really took it seriously 5 years ago. But most channels, it takes 3 years just to get discovered before you really start moving and to get an identity. So we think it's really important to identify other channels that are in that growth stage. And then once they're identified and comfortable, that we all promote each other. And it makes a big difference. So when you go to someone else's live stream or you go to someone else's video and you hear them talking about XYZ channel, you go, oh, I watched that one too. So we all kind of help each other out.
And it's so important, to hit the like button. Subscribe if you can, and you should. It's free. But definitely hit like button and leave comments.
Janet, make sure you stay till the end.
Can you do some breakfast meals sometimes? Oh, there's breakfast coming up. Don't worry.
Wait till the end. We'll tell you all about it.
Yep. So I always keep canned soups around. Now, I had a friend.
Now, you see, this is the reason why we do this.
Excellent. There you go. Their live streams are so fun and just silly, and I love them.
And we might get a little snarky in their chat.
So anyway, I always keep some canned soups around. They're quick and easy. I had a friend, and the way she would make soup would be, she was someone who said to me, I don't know how to make soup. Do you have a recipe for matzo ball soup? I've never had it, but I'm curious. I do no, I can't say I do. I've never made it, though. My husband is Jewish. It's not his favorite thing because I think the way his two grandmothers made it, the matzo balls were like lead, and he's a little traumatized. Someday I will. Anyway, yeah, we do too. The way she would make soup is she would just take little leftovers of stuff out of her freezer. Maybe she had some old ground meat, little bags of vegetables, and she would, okay, slow it down, dear. I'm trying to talk and make a point. Take that down. I'll answer that later, please. I'm going home. I'm telling you. Anyway. And I know there's probably someone out there watching going, oh my God, he's so mean to his husband. We've been together 25 years. This is not mean. This is just us being silly. Anyway, so the way she used to make soup was she would take various things from her pantry and her freezer, throw it in a pot, and along with a can of cream of something soup, like cream of celery or cream of chicken, and that would be the way she made soup. And she made them for me, and they're okay. They're pretty good, but I was always baffled, like, come on. And I tried showing her, and she was set in her ways. She was an older lady, and I was like, okay. But anyway, these are great. Whatever kind you like, whatever brand. But there's so many to choose from. And that's something that canned soups have come such a long way. There were condensed soups originally, and then there's ready-to-eat soups, and then there's like frozen soups that you can microwave, things like that. Of course, we have stock in a box. And as much as I love making my own stocks and broths and things, and there's a slight difference, I always keep several varieties of stocks around, including mushroom stock, turkey stock, sometimes the seafood stock. You notice two of these say lower sodium. I prefer them. They didn't have this in lower sodium or I would have gotten it. But I always keep this around because sometimes, you're making a sauce, you're making a gravy. I might not have chicken broth thawed, chicken stock thawed. So I'm going to grab the chicken stock and make chicken gravy or beef stock or whatever. So these are always great to keep in your pantry too. They're very long lived. Once you open them, they don't last that long. I usually write the date somewhere on the label and pop it in the fridge if I don't use the whole thing. But I love these. They're a great product. And again, there are all kinds of brands. Use whatever brand you like. This is not a commercial for Swanson.
How's the chicken soup doing?
Chicken soup's fine. Would you like to try the tomato soup before I go on with my other stuff? Oops.
Let's see what it looks like. It's another reveal.
Well, I turned it off because I'm pretty sure it's more than 7 minutes and the little stars should be cooked. Yep.
All right, come on,
Little
YouTube,
stuck to
catch
the
up.
bottom, but they're coming up. Okay, there we go. Would you like a bowl of this, dear?
I will try small.
Well, yeah, a small bowl.
It's hard to do that and do this. Man, YouTube is really being slow today.
Well, you don't have to. If you don't have enough room over there. Oops, and that one just ran out of gas.
I think it's still hot enough.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right. We'll just let this sit for a few more minutes. Ooh, hot. I will dish you up some tomato soup.
And while you do that, why don't you answer this one real quick?
All right. Rachel Ray used to talk about stoops, a cross between a soup and a stew. Do you have anything like that? Well, actually, I do. When I try, I get my chili like that. But I've made some creamy soups that are very like that. And I have a recipe I've been wanting to do that is very much like that for borscht. And borscht is a Russian, Ukrainian, that part of the world. It's wonderful. You think, oh, it's beet soup. Oh, no, no, no. It's so much more than that. So here's our soup. But you can make it, again, brothier or chunkier like a stew. All right, Philip, I'm going to bring this over.
Oh, okay. I was going to come and get it, but
All right, you come and get it.
I'm just trying to see why YouTube is being so slow with the chat
All right,
messages
I'll bring this
today.
and I'll even bring you a slice of bread. Okay?
Hold on, I'm going to try something.
All right, while you're doing that, I'll
may
taste
regret
this.
but we're going to try it anyway.
All right, I'll just try this, and you do that. So
Give me a minute.
I'll
Really?
do a dance and a jig. Okay. All right, so we'll try it. So very, very hot.
Okay. Yeah, you need to stall for a bit. I have a problem I need to debug.
Okay. That's very nice. The little stars are cooked perfectly, and it's a nice, rich, light soup. Full of flavor, but light as in it's brothy, it's warming, clears out your sinuses. So, Ben, you were saying you were fighting off a cold and Sherry made you chicken soup. Chicken soup, or any type of soup really, is so much wonderful when we have colds and things because it helps open your sinuses, it soothes your throat, it hydrates you, which is important. But this is a very easy recipe. It's a little different take on plain old tomato soup. You can use any type of pasta in it. I use little stars today because that's what I have. But you could use ditallinis or penne or elbows even.
All right. Well, YouTube is having a bad day, and I've lost my chat.
Again.
Well, it's telling me my API key is bad.
So that's,
Try one more shot at this.
as long as we're still broadcasting.
We're still broadcasting.
Okay. All right. That's all I care about. Oops.
Oops, that's not where that goes.
I need this ladle since my other ladle
Settings.
went on the floor. So, canned soups we talked about. We made fresh soup. What are some other products? Of course, there's powdered soups. I happen to have onion because we just wanted plain old onion dip once over the holidays, and this is the easiest way to make it. I wouldn't eat this, it'd be way too salty. But, you know, there are a lot of flavors of these powdered soups where you just add water. And I guess for a quick snack, they're okay. We stopped eating food like this a long time ago.
Yay!
As a regular
Okay.
thing. Okay. Are you fixed now?
Yes, sort of.
Heavenly days. Okay.
Sort of.
All right.
Our API key ran out of. We had more than 10,000 requests this month.
Oh,
so
okay. All right.
had to go to the backup key.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just figuring something out.
Okay. Could you do it quietly? Because.
Oops.
What? I may need another cocktail.
All right.
For reals. Anyway, besides instant soups, there's bouillon cubes, bouillon packets. Those are all great ways to, if you had a lighter stock and you wanted to oomph up the flavor. There's products like this, the Better Than Bouillon. Could you zoom in on that? Thank you. I wouldn't make this and to have a bowl of bouillon, but to throw it in, like if this chicken stock I made were needed a little bit more flavor, couple scoops, done. Kevin, yes, Doug makes an excellent 4-cheese grilled cheese sandwich, which pairs very well with soup. So Kevin must have said something about grilled cheese.
He did.
Okay.
That's in all the catch-up stuff. Okay, so here is the one that I lost before I realized our chat stopped working.
I'm in Chicago. We have great Jewish delis. Unfortunately, not nearly as many as when I was a child. Never had dense matzah. And you know what, Rebecca? That's my understanding is the matzah balls are supposed to be light, but too often they turn out as really dense, heavy rocks, which is unfortunate. I feel like it's something I want to crack the code because really it's a big dumpling, and I love dumplings. I love chicken and dumpling soup. Yeah. Anyway, this is a pretty decent product. It could be really salty. I don't use it very often, but yeah, this is something else to keep in your pantry. If you need to add a boost of flavor. How about, you got any more that I need to answer?
I got a lot more. Hold
Okay.
on. Oh, this one's fun.
Okay.
Kevin would like this one.
I make cream soups flavored with different beers. Oh yeah, what was it from the 80s? Wisconsin cheese soup, which is made with beer. Yeah, that's great. We're going to be learning in a few weeks about cooking with alcohols and beers and alcohols and things. Let's try the chicken soup, dear. 'Cause you've been whinging for that. Hopefully, the celery and onions are soft enough. If they're not, just lie and say that they are. Oops. Let me taste for seasoning, which I didn't do with tomato, but it was fine. And see if... Oh yeah, they're good. All right, I will bring you some chicken soup.
Okay, well, now that I got back up and I'm getting my screen to work, let me go over what people said
Okay.
was their favorite
Yeah.
soups. So Chatty B said wiener water soup.
Wiener water
I gotta
soup.
believe that's hot dog soup, but okay. Janet says Italian wedding soup and chicken
Oh,
noodles.
yeah, Italian wedding's one of my favorites, Janet.
Ben likes tortilla soup.
Okay.
And then we have Suzanne. She says watermelon gazpacho
Oh,
or
yeah.
clam chowder.
I've had a watermelon soup, yeah. That's one of those dessert soups.
New England, I'm assuming you mean New England clam chowder. Not sure how you pronounce that one. Chicken avogomano soup with orzo?
Avogomano soup with orzo. Okay.
Or it's avolemano. All right.
Abiolo lemon. Okay.
Janet has Italian wedding soup.
Yeah, you said that. And chicken noodle.
And Care Bears say magic soup. Chatty B says ramen soup with extra salt.
Really? Wow.
Care Bears are beef barley.
Oh, yeah. I love barley
and it's
soup.
tomato soup.
Tomatoes. Yep.
And corn chowder.
Okay. We did an episode of corn chowder.
And Rebecca is borscht.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I love borscht. And people think, oh, it's just beet soup. Oh, I think, Rebecca, you'll agree. It's so much more than that. So
Rebecca says she's got a good friend who does
my
matzo
best friend
ball
Sarah's
soup.
booby taught me how to make a tasty matzo ball. I find my... Oh, yes, please. Yes, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, and you can
We'll give you full credit.
you can get a hold of us by sending an email to info@letscelebrate.tv. Hi.
Hi.
More importantly, he's got bread. He's got bread. Just saying.
Yes, my husband is a bread hog.
Bread
He would
whore.
eat bread at every meal if I'd let him.
Yeah, that's true.
So you might...
Okay. Oh, Hank's in,
Oh, hi, Hank.
and he likes New England clam chowder.
Okay. You know, now we live on the East Coast. We've been to New England many times. I grew up there. I grew up going there anyway. And I hate to say it, but it's true. The best New England clam chowder I had was in Oregon on the West Coast, outside of Portland, in this restaurant right on the beach. And they are known for their New England clam chowder. And it was amazing. And New England clam chowder is not my favorite of clam chowders. Yeah, I do too, Kev. Do you have a recipe for escarole soup? My nonna used to make it, but I can't seem to get it right. Yeah, yes, actually, I do. Funny story about escarole soup. You know, a lot of people make it, at least in this area, the Italian Americans make it around the holidays between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And where I used to work, there used to be this little Italian, like, they had like a deli and sandwich shop and little market that you could get stuff in. And I went there for lunch one day and I got my little sandwich and they had all this produce, including this beautiful fresh escarole. So I got a couple of heads and the owner, who was this little bitty Italian man, about this big. And you could, he was from Italy. He had a very heavy accent. And he's like, how do you know what this is? And I'm like, well... And then I had to tell him that I did know and tell him what I was making and how. So yeah, I do have a recipe for that, and we can make that and do an episode.
Chicken soup is good.
Should I try it?
I would add a lot more pepper and maybe a little bit more salt when you added the vegetables. It took away some of the salt.
The little bit I tasted, it seemed okay, but it was very, very hot. So let me give it a taste.
Okay, we got an explanation. It's
a Greek
Bogo lemon
It's a
soup.
lemon beat with egg. Oh, yes. Yeah, I didn't know what that was called. It's delicious. I grew up in Chinatown, Greek town. The original Italy, where every restaurant had photos of Frank Sinatra. Yes, we do know what that soup is. We've had it in a restaurant, in a Greek restaurant. Yeah. Hot and sour soup. Yeah, and you know what? I can't find good hot and sour soup in this area anymore. I used to be able to get it, but I've tried everywhere. And it is neither hot nor sour. It's just meh.
Hold on. Oops. Hold on. It didn't get over yet. Hang on a second.
right.
There we go.
We make hot and sour soup once. So about 36 ingredients, 2 days to make it. I'll order from our local Chinese restaurant instead. Yeah, I have a couple recipes in my books for it. I have not ever tried to make it though. Oh, I think the salt level is fine. Pepper, sure. Why do you have to have chicken soup every time you're sick? Okay, so yeah,
There's actually some truth to this.
there is some truth to this. I kind of alluded to it earlier. Chicken soup, first of all, when you're sick, you have a cold, you have a flu, things probably from here all the way down are probably not doing so well. Up here, chest and congestion, head congestion, the hot soup is going to be soothing on a sore throat. The steam is going to help your sinuses open up and your bronchioles open up. It's going to warm you and it's going to help you fight off that infection. That it's soup keeps you hydrated, which is so important when you're sick. And of course, it's packed with nutrition that also help you when you're sick. Plus, the most important thing is it's very comforting. Do you have a video on hot and sour true pepper tree? I'll trade you a duck soup recipe. Okay. Hi, Max. Okay, go ahead. Max the cat came by and he's going to their room. My favorite is beef barley soup. I like adding a little bit of horseradish. Me too. I love barley, and especially beef barley soup. And yeah, horseradish, I always add it to vegetable beef. I've never thought about adding it to beef barley, which is, I don't know why. Love your roast tomato soup with pasta. Thank you. But I always have it with a grilled cheese sandwich. What can you do to update a grilled cheese? Oh, there's lots of things, you know.
Wait, didn't we do an episode on grilled cheese, or was that part of the unusual sandwich episode?
That was part of the sandwich live stream. But maybe we need to look into it, because you could change it up with the types of cheese, with the type of breads. You could do, you know what I would like to do, and I think we probably saw this in one of the magazines or something, would be like a grilled cheese bar. Like you go up and you make your own combinations of things and then have the cook grill it for you right there. You'd have to have someone manning it, so I wouldn't want my guests to have to cook their own food, but all right. Yeah, no, this is good. Would you like me to get you some pepper, or have you eaten it all already?
Yeah, I could do with some pepper.
Okay. So you might be wondering, can you come get it?
Hold on.
I'm trying to eat more seafood. Any soup ideas besides clam chowder? Oh, yeah, there's lots of, soups out there. There's something called cioppino, which comes, I believe, from the Bay Area. Pepper tree guys, you might know this. I think it's from California, from around San Francisco. And it's a soup that when the fishermen would come in after they've sold everything, they would take what was left over and they would all chip in and they would make this big soup or stew, call it cioppino. And at the market, all the vendors would come and all the seafoods and vegetables, what was left over for the day that they couldn't sell. Have to go to the Frugal Hoosier for some groceries. Okay.
We'll see you tomorrow for Jell-O tasting.
Yes, we will. Thank you, guys. But yeah, cioppino is another one of those. And it's kind of a stoop that someone asked about earlier. Cioppino, yeah. Yeah. And I've been promising you all Rhode Island clam chowder. And the problem that we're running into is when we go to get the clams, because you can make it with canned clams, it's better with fresh. They're either grossly expensive, or they look like caca, or they don't have them. They're like, clams? What's a clam? Oops. So we just haven't been able to get the clams for it. Helen, my mom used to make garbage soup where she would clean out the freezer of partial vegetables and whatever else and add some ground beef to make soup. Sure. Kevin, didn't your mom do that? Make something called garbage soup the same way? I know my mom would make vegetable beef soup that way. What is vichyssoise? Aha, that's another one of the cold soups, kind of like gazpacho. It is a cold potato soup. It's French in origins. It's cold and creamy. It's light yet rich. It's amazing. So if you like potatoes, it's really good. A lot of people don't like it because if it's not made really well, it just tastes like water. But it has cream in it, maybe some creme fraiche, and you get a lot of that potato flavor. It's something I've been wanting to do, but it's quite nice in the summertime as a starter. So you might all be wondering, why do people hate, oh yeah, you might be wondering that. Why do people hate minestrone? I love it, or minestrone. I love it too, Olivia, and we've been wanting to do an episode on it, and I started researching it. Here's the thing about minestrone. There's what we know as an Italian-American soup here. That's a lot of beans and vegetables and things. But then in Italy, it's like there's all these different types that varies per region. So minestrones could become kind of a blanket term for like a type of vegetable soup. Sometimes they have meat in them, sometimes not, usually not. But there are so many different types to make it. It's unfortunate that a lot of people don't like it. 7, Morisco soup, very spicy. Oh, yeah. Spicy soup's another one that when you have a cold, that'll clear out your sinuses. So you might be wondering, what are my favorite soups? Besides chicken, I love any type of chicken soup, really. But my 2 favorites are cream of mushroom, because I grew up, like probably most of you, on Campbell's cream of mushroom soup. And I've tried Progresso and some of the other brands, and none of them have that mushroom flavor. I have tried recipes. I have studied and tried, and I have not cracked the code yet. I've come close, some of the recipes I've found, but they're not, it's either not creamy enough or not mushroomy enough. So I haven't figured out how to get there. My other favorite is something we did, I think our first season, maybe our second season, is my mother used to make kale soup. And when you look at it, you think it's just this big bowl of green grass cuttings. It isn't. It has beef in it. You could make it vegetarian. But it's kind of like a soup too, because it's thickened with oatmeal, which is a fascinating thing. It's a Scottish recipe. I know there's a Portuguese version of kale soup with other vegetables and things, but this is from Scotland, and it's wonderful, especially in winter. She would make it because kale is a winter green, but it didn't do well, and people were like, ugh. Even though kale's a superfood, but that's my other favorite. It's something that is very comforting to me. So maybe I'll try to do cream of mushroom. How are we doing on time?
So you need to start talking about what our next live stream is and what we're doing.
Another bite of soup. That will make a nice dinner. All right. What's next for LCTV? Our next live stream, which is next Sunday, Diner Breakfast Favorites. What do you order? So yes, it was Janet who asked about breakfast. Yep. So yeah, we are going to be doing some breakfast dishes next week too, as well as talking about our diner tours here in New Jersey, what we order. We want to hear from all of you. If you go to a diner, what do you order? And we're talking about what constitutes a diner, what makes a diner a diner. Some other recipes coming up. We're going to be revisiting an old episode that did pretty well, but it needs a little update. We're going to be revisiting Cornish game hens with garlic and herb butter. And I've changed it up a little bit, but we're going to talk about different techniques. What is a game hen? How to cook it. And this is a pretty simple and delicious recipe. And game hens are wonderful because really they sound fancy, but they're just little chickens. And I love serving them when we have company because everyone gets like one or half of one. Hey, Joe. Good to see you.
And Joe, if you just joined us, make sure that you hop on Pepper Tree Villa's live stream. The chat.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, the chat is in the description, or I'll send it to you an email, because every week they do a Hallmark movie review, and they're brutal.
Well, they're
Most
honest.
of the time.
They're honest, dear. So, we also have a few other recipes in the works. More chicken dishes, something called chicken marbella, or you may read it as chicken marbella. And it was a big dish in the 80s. It was made famous by the Silver Palette Cookbook. And in the 80s, you couldn't go to anyone's house and have dinner without someone making that version of it. And it's kind of made a little resurgence lately. A couple years ago, Ina Garten did a whole episode. She made an updated version. A couple other YouTubers have done it too. So I've been playing around with it, and I thought I'd introduce to all of you. It's a fun dish. It's a little weird when you hear what's in it, but it's very delicious. Oh, SOS is an all-time favorite in a local diner. Yeah, Hank.
Yeah, watch us next week. I talk
Yeah.
all about that.
We'll talk about that, yeah. Because SOS could be several different things. And of course, we're going to be doing more cocktails. We haven't done some cocktails in a while, and Phil said, I'm missing doing cocktails. Don't forget to mention, yes, so when we have dinner parties, I love doing a soup course. I don't know why, I just do. I think it's elegant. And not even a bowl this big, usually just a little cup. Sometimes
Shot glasses.
I will do a flight of soups, and we'll use very small shot glasses or large shot glasses, but very small vessels. So you might get 3 or 4 different soups. Maybe something cold, maybe hot, spicy, brothy, whatever. So yeah, I love to do that. And that's the great thing about soup. It's a blank canvas, and you could turn just about anything into soup. And then you can do things like soup flights. At my old church, during Lent, on Wednesdays, we would do something called soup suppers. And we would all go there. We would all bring different types of soups. Some would be bread. And then we'd have this wonderful, there's a service too, but we would have all this wonderful thing. And it was amazing that if everyone brought chicken soup that week, you might have 4 or 5 completely different chicken soups. So it was kind of amazing. All right, I think that's about wrapping us up, and we are right at time. Do you have anything else, dear?
No, I don't think so. But
no more questions, comments?
Let's do what we got to do here. Except I need to push the correct button this time.
Imagine that.
As he lets go of the button, and
All
now
right.
it actually works this time. And we are wrapping up here. Let's say thanks to all of our supporters.
Yes.
Hank and AJ and Brad and Carol and Joe and Peggy, Robin, Megan, Gary, Kevin, ARH Associate, Rode Microphones, B&H, and everyone here in chat today. And we'll see you.
All right, thanks. See you next.